Hello and welcome to Bricks. I'm Adam and this is Bricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to take another look at the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Flowers in Watering Can set. I'm going to be using these pieces, but I'm going to be looking at a design by a community member on Rebrickable. I did get their permission, and so I'm going to be building one of their designs using the pieces in this set, which I'm very excited about. And I think I'll probably have in the thumbnail sort of what it looks like and what who the designer is. The designer is Tomik or Tomik. I will leave a link to their Rebrickable in the video description, and also put their name in the title and in the thumbnail there, so you can check them out because they so graciously gave me permission to build one of their builds and talk about it on my channel. So I'm going to keep it a little bit of a surprise as much as I can, and I'm going to take apart this alternate model for this set, and I can move these instructions aside here, and then I'll start building, and then I'll share my thoughts on it. So while I disassemble this and while I build this mock or someone else's creation, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to share my quick thoughts on this alternate build. So until then, enjoy. Okay, well, while we look at the disassembly of this two-bird alternate model of the Lego Creator 3-in-1 Flowers and Watering Can set, and while we work on the build for this super secret surprise community designed build from somebody on Rebrickable. The designer's name is Tomik, and I'll link their Rebrickable page on the video description and all that stuff. And for whatever reason, I'm assuming I'm going to put a picture of the model into the thumbnail, but I kind of wanted to keep it a secret. But I guess I'll spoil it right now, and it's a balancing bird kind of toy, which I was really interested in. So here we're kind of working on the balancing bird body, the wings, the tail, and then the head area. The wings are done in an interesting way. They're connected nicely at that angle, which is cool, especially without using like hinges or anything like that. They're locked in place there, and then we can start working on these sub-assemblies for the greater wing area here, which does include kind of this base sub-assembly and then this whole counterweight sub-assembly to kind of make this function as a balancing bird. We can start working on the other side then, and it's pretty much the same flip-flopped. I don't think I got all the colors correctly, and I'll talk about that in the full review for this model. I just want to thank the designer Tomik for communicating with me, answering my question of whether or not I could put this in a video and talk about it, and they graciously said yes. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who's watching, and now we're finishing up this display stand and then on to my review for this alternate model. Okay, so this is that alternate build. This is designed by Tomik on Rebrickable. They also have their own website, which is where the instructions for this were actually found. So Rebrickable sent to an external site, which appears to be like Tomik's kind of website. Maybe it's pretty but it's very easy to work with, and all of that stuff, so pretty interesting here. And the designer says, "This model is my attempt to build one of my childhood toys out of Lego bricks, bird balancing on its beak. I remember its main principle, placing center of gravity to the beak, but the rest was a question of trial and error. In the end, I found out that distance between the tip of the beak and center of gravity is as important as perfect symmetry of the model. It means that wings with counterweight must be low enough, and the finished model is also supplemented with stand with some greenery. So I think that's a pretty good summary of what this is. So this is an alternate model for the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 Flowers in a Watering Can set, and this is a alternate model, not an official LEGO model, but by a community designer, and I was really interested in this. I have I've had toys like these in the past. They always fascinated me. I just thought they were really cool, even if the physics of it all is, I think, pretty understandable. Like this and stuff like tensegrides or whatever they are, with that looks like a floating thing with chains or ropes and tension and stuff, which some people have built with Lego as well. Those are all interesting to me. This kind of has it's a little bit deceptive in doing this, because this is not attached to the model in any way, but I'm just going to share my brief kind of thoughts on this. So these are all the pieces that were in the main set but were not used in this alternate model, which is fine. I don't think I think this only said it had 224 parts. There's not major exclusions, like a lot of the clip pieces, some of these these pieces weren't used. And then I also wanted to just make sure I point this out right away. In terms of color, I don't think I did everything correctly down here, in the wings area there, because of my color blindness, but I'm hoping that if they're the same pieces, even if different colors, that they will still work for this. So that's okay. It does make use of some of the eye tiles there, which I appreciate. And I think, yeah, this is not quite half of the pieces that are in this set, but it's still a good amount of pieces, and I like this. I would honestly like Lego to do things like this officially. I'm not sure if there's techniques in here that maybe they don't employ as readily as this one, but we can kind of talk through that. So starting building this, we start with 2 by, like a 2x4 and a 2x6 or 2x8, I think, plate and a 2x2 kind of in there. And then we do some interesting stuff adding these 2x6. We add kind of these inverted slope pieces with the studs on the other side to the bottom. These two we leave kind of out with nothing covering them. These kind of hold everything down. Then we add the tail, which is very nicely designed. It doesn't need to be too much. In fact, it's probably good that it's relatively thin, relatively light, but still gets the design across there. We start building the wings. So the kind of wings are attached in this interesting way where it attaches to one of these inverted slopes and one up here when it's connected to this big plate. So this is one of these, the 4x8, and we attach a 1x5, and same on the other side, as well as a 1x2, and use these inverted slopes and different tiles and slopes to kind of secure those all down. And we attach those at 2 points there, so it's offset by a plate in height, and that's the same on both sides, which I thought was interesting. And I thought at first, like, these are going to look kind of weird for the wings because they're going to be so blocky and so square, but the way this works is that you do add a lot to them, so we do avoid that. After we attach the main base of the wings, we can start kind of talking about or putting together the body. And again, I might have some colors incorrect here per the instructions. Excuse my color blindness. And but overall, I think it looks pretty good. Again, like the birds in the official alternate build, you know, they're sort of potentially tropical, colorful, different feather patterns, whatever. So I buy into this, even though I kind of struggle with colors occasionally. We build up the head area there, which is really nicely done. I liked how the beak was done, and I'm actually really impressed with how sturdy this is, because the beak attaches with a brick with a Technic axle hole in it, and then one of these like bar pieces with the like open stud with the bar, and it slides in there, but then it does get secured additionally from the top with this slope. But if it's going to be balancing on the beak, it needs to be able to, you know, hold some weight there and everything like that. So I think this was really well done. I like the taper of the face around here. Feels like that's a really good shape. I think the beak is nicely designed as well. And then when finishing out the build, we work on the kind of upper part of the wing here, which is all tiled out very, very nicely, and using, there's a lot of texture there, a lot of depth, a lot of like subtle changes, and that uses a good amount of the black plates that are in this set, which it's because it's sandwiched between like yellow and other colors, it kind of fades away and it feels really, really nice. So I liked how these were all done, and they're done basically the same, but reversed or kind of mirrored there, and that's because it has to be symmetrical in order to balance as well as it does. So you do, I think technically you do one side of that, and then you build this whole kind of counterweight area here, which uses a good amount of bricks, studs on the side bricks, and we place that at the very end of the wing, and then attach all of this together onto the wing we had before. So this is what the sub-assembly is like for the wing. This is sort of what it's like with you build this first and then you add the counterweight. This plate right here should be right there, but when I attach it back on, it's kind of something like that. And again, I was pretty impressed by how stable this is, you know. So we have these 9 studs here, another one there, and we attach it to this, something like that, and they hold on really, really well. So I like that. Both sides are done like that, which is great, and I'm pretty impressed. So that's kind of the main construction of this. And then the last thing you build is this display stand, which I liked this a lot too. It uses all of the leaf pieces that are in the set, in the main one. It does use some of the flower pieces as well. Not all of them, but some of them, which is good. I'm assuming probably more could be added, but you know, it depends. And I actually like the colors that were used here, making do with what was available in the set, but also kind of color blocking things out a little bit. And then we use a Technic axle piece with these round bricks, or these like half round bricks, and the tile up top, and that essentially makes the stand for the balancing bird. Now, as I've kind of showed already, the balancing bird could also balance on a finger or in your hand or something along those lines, and not be too weird or anything like that. So it's pretty good at maintaining its stability and its balance, even when I'm kind of moving my finger around here. So I think that's really well accomplished, and it also means that on this exposed Technic axle, we don't slot it into this. We have a hollow stud down here, so there's not anything that would directly attach to. So this can sit right on there. It rests on there. And I like kind of spinning it around like that. You can kind of like hit the tail a little bit and sort of it'll hopefully find its center of gravity. It's a little bit odd sometimes just because the different like shapes inside a hollow stud like this. So sometimes it might get a little bit like off center or off balance and kind of stay there, but it's still not like falling over, and it is easy to get it back to its kind of balanced orientation here. So I think this is really, really fun. I think it's really a cool idea. I love stuff like this. It is very nostalgic for me. I'm assuming like the designer, because I did have a toy very much like this as a child. It was kind of an eagle, and the stand for it was kind of like a branch. It was like plastic, but it was like wood that looked like wood, and it would just sit there on its beak, and you could spin it around, and you could hold it on your finger and do all sorts of stuff. And so building this with Lego, I think is such a good idea. I wish I had thought of it. I'm a big fan of this type of stuff, and I don't want to take credit for this design at all. This is Tomik, or I think Tomas. I'm not going to pronounce their full name, but I will put their Rebrickable name in the description and everything, and link to their Rebrickable page, and all that kind of stuff, because I think they did a great job. I really like it. It's inspiring to me. I think it's really imaginative. I think it's inventive and fun and well done. I don't think there are too many like design things or construction things, which occasionally with like other people's creations, other designers kind of builds that are not official Lego builds, occasionally there will be some techniques or stages in the instructions that I find a little bit off, or I just don't know if they would make through all the rounds of review at like the official Lego group in terms of mass producing a set for the shelf. I think this one pretty much abides by a lot of them. I mean, the only thing I have a question about is these kind of offset angle things, where they're just one studded down, but they are sandwiched between each other. I'm not sure if Lego would want that to be a little more secure. It feels pretty good to me, and I feel like I've seen them do this kind of technique in the past in official builds. So when I looked at some of the alternates for cool cars, I realized that this designer, Tomik, also had some alternate builds for that set. I did not look at any of their builds for that set when I did that, but I'm very pleased to be able to look at one of their builds for this one. And I think when I did do the cool cars for some of the other designers' builds, it seemed like occasionally there was either like the instructions weren't maybe in the absolute perfect kind of sequence. It was like occasionally there'd be a step where I felt like I had to like kind of go back a little bit, put the thing in, and then go back. And there were some more precarious connections and some more things that were just a little bit unstable. This one is pretty stable, and actually Tomik on their website, or this website Build INST, has kind of a 5-diamond rating of things of difficulty, playability, solidity, and stability. So I think they kind of rated this themselves. They gave it a 3 for difficulty, a 3 for playability, a 4 for solidity, and a 4 for stability. So I think that's really cool. A nice way to do this, to kind of say like, you know, people might make mocks that could be difficult to put together, not super playable, not super stable, not super solid, but like they look really, really good and what they are. And this is kind of a nice balance here, which is really, really cool to me. I think it gets the bird across really well. And overall, I liked it. As I said in the beginning, these are all the leftover pieces here, which is very fine. But in terms of like my opinion on this compared to, the official Lego builds, I thought maybe the bird one was my favorite out of all of them when I was going through it. But I think this might be my favorite of all the ones that I did. And so this is actually probably the one that I'm going to keep built. And the rest of these pieces will just go into the piece collection, or maybe I'll try to make something with these, because I think this is really, really fun and really, really cool. So I think that the Tomik did a really, really good job. Thank you very much for designing this. Thank you for allowing me to make a video about it. It's very much appreciated. And I would just encourage any people that view this video or my other videos to check out Rebrickable, check out some of the designers. I've featured their work on this channel, and give them support as well, because they do this for themselves and do it for other people. And often, not always, but often people release these instructions for free, and that's time consuming, and so is the trial and error in designing this. And I understand that they also might get some enjoyment out of that, but it is a whole process, and so supporting them is also pretty cool in my opinion. And I think that's everything. So I like this a lot. And if you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Lego Creator 3-in-1s, more other people's creations from Rebrickable or Brickset, or different mocks that people do, mostly probably alternate builds for sets that I already have or sets that I'm working on and stuff like that. And I think maybe there's at least one other one that I'm going to buy the pieces for specifically and build. But stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm also going to be covering tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, old sets, new sets, retired sets, used sets. So subscribe, please. It means a lot to me and it helps a lot. And then if you wanted to support this channel in a different way, you could do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. So if you're interested in those things, those avenues are open and available and appreciated. So thank you very much. Thank you, Tomik. Thank you, Rebrickable community. And thank you, everybody who watches. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.